So if you haven't been paying attention yesterday, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipeline, they had an explosion. Now, what are these? If you're not familiar, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, they connected Russia to the European Union, and they facilitate the transfer of natural gas from Russia to the EU. So since the EU placed sanctions on Moscow due to them having invaded Ukraine, Russia has begun to weaponize their energy exports. And the reason they're weaponizing the energy exports and have the ability to do so is that over the years, Russia became pretty much the main energy exporter to the EU. The EU became so reliant upon Russia that it put them in a precarious position that Russia attempted to exploit. So the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, particularly the Nord Stream 1, was operational. In the last couple of months, they limited the amount until now it's just pumping nothing. And they said this is going to continue until sanctions were fully removed. Now, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline was never fully operational, yet it was pressurized. So when these are pressurized, there are still some natural gas within the pipeline. So yesterday, when there were these several explosions, this caused a leak, which caused gas to flow out of those. So right now there's this ton of gas just being pumped out, and they're saying that this could be one of the worst environmental crises in such some time, especially as methane being pumped into the environment helps facilitate global warming more quickly, but it's also a hazard for ships. So some of the Baltic countries said that, hey, if you have a ship, you're not allowed to pass through here right now until we get this solved. But it's beginning to look more and more like sabotage, and this is why. So earlier in the day, there was an inaugural ceremony from various European heads of state celebrating the upcoming operations of this new pipeline, the Baltic pipeline connecting Norway to Poland, which will, because Norway has a lot of gas. So this is just a way to determine new natural gas distributors so they're not as reliant on Russia, especially as Russia is no longer considered a reliable source as they're openly hostile. So what was it, several hours after this inaugural ceremony, that there's, I believe, 3 explosions between the 2 Nord Stream pipelines. And in geopolitics, there are rarely coincidences, especially of this magnitude. I mean, the timing is just too perfect to coincide with this inaugural event. I mean, the same day, come on. And also, if you're aware of where the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines fit on the map compared to this new Norway, the Poland pipeline, they're pretty much right next to each other. So given I was asked about what I believe happened, and my take, now it could be wrong, but my take is it's looking like the Russians committed sabotage to essentially send a message saying, hey, don't mess with us. Look what we could do here. We could easily do this with your other pipelines. But it'll be interesting to see when the information fully comes out, as nothing has been officially confirmed yet. However, it's still, based on everything out there, it's looking like it was Russian sabotage. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe something else happened? Do you think that it was actually just an au natural explosion that just happened by chance to coincide with this inaugural event of this Norway, the Poland pipeline, whose sole purpose is to circumvent Russia and cut them out of the energy equation? I don't know, but definitely let me know your thoughts.